Hello there. I just wanted to make a quite brief video um, about the trans issues, so-called trans issues, in in what's been called the LGBT and Q community, but there isn't really such a thing, to be truthful. Um, um, and partly it's specifically about this idea about transgender, yeah. Um, because it's become an extremely contentious thing. It's become a source of enormous amounts of resentment and hatred leveled at people who are considered to be somehow critical of the trans community or critical of trans ideology, because basically it's an ideology, really. Um, Partly I wanted to just share some things that I really noticed, and I noticed this a long time ago. This is going back to maybe 2004 or 2005, so we're talking over 15 years ago, over 15 years ago. Um, and at that point, I was moderating a message board, a sort of like an LGBT message board connected with paganism. And I can remember at the time a trans woman, i.e., a transsexual, because that's what we used to call people. We used to call people transsexuals, yeah, who wanted to transition from one sex to the other, yeah. And I can remember her talking with some trepidation about this whole transgender category that was coming in, and basically expressing that she had a kind of like a mistrust of it, because it was kind of like marginalizing actual transsexuals, yeah, and it was bringing in this plethora of other people who are not transsexual, uh, who are all manner of things, yeah, and and it was such a, a broad umbrella. You could be almost anything and say you were transgender. And uh, in much the same as I always distrusted this term queer uh, as a kind of as an intellectual confection, and I found it strange that you'd get heterosexuals coming along and say, I'm queer, you got to understand, I'm queer too," sort of thing. And it's like, hold on a second, just back off a bit, yeah. I don't want to be called queer, yeah. I remember what queer meant when I was a teenager, yeah. So you go and do you, but don't do it near me, frankly, this whole stuff. And I think the transgender thing is very much like the queer thing. Um, I think it really is. You've got people who are they're not gay, they're not transsexual, they're not bisexual. Uh, Mainly, I think they're straight people. Mainly, they're straight people who just wanna feel different, or who want to somehow valorize whatever sense of complexity they have. It's like, well, go and be an artist, yeah, go and be an individual. That's what we all did. That's what we all did. So I mean, you know, and I really don't trust it. And I think that's sort of like the ultimate in this is this whole thing about non-binary. Yeah, now non-binary has become such a big thing, and nobody can even explain to me what it means. You ask, well, what do you mean by non-binary? And they say, well, it means that sometimes I feel masculine, sometimes I feel feminine, sometimes I want to do boy things, and sometimes I want to do girl things. And they always use this word boy and girl like they've got to infantilize everything. And it's like, you're talking about just being a human being. That's the entire human race, pretty much, yeah? So it's as if they're saying, I'm this, and all those people out there, they're the absolute stereotype. That's not true. I don't know what are they even about? And and all of this stuff that they go on, they want to become militant. They want to be militant. Well, what laws did you ever have to campaign to change because they were oppressing you because you were non-binary? Yeah. When did you ever get? When you was it ever a threat that you'd be prosecuted and put in prison because you had sex and you were non-binary? The law can't even work out what non-binary is. Nobody can work out what non-binary is because it just seems to be you feeling special about being like everybody else, essentially. But I make it into an identity, and this is the poison of identity politics. Yeah. And what I really think, and what I really think, is that uh, all the same people, all the same people who are gay or bi or transsexuals need to just walk away from this whole transgender queer load of crap. Just walk away from it. It's got nothing to do with us because it's poison. It's identity and identity politics. It's postmodern, post-Marxist bullshit. And it's there as a way of using people and leveraging their sense of psychological discomfort into something pseudo-political that somebody's going to use. So don't trust it. Just don't trust it. And if you, it doesn't matter what you are, look, go and be an individual. How about you go and be an individual and just make your way in the world? Yeah? I don't care how freaky you are, how different. That's great. Just go and do it and be it as an individual. Yeah? Because look, if you're not trying to change, if there aren't laws actually oppressing you, yeah, you're not doing any work to free yourself anyway. Yeah? So just get a life, Just get a life. Because this is ridiculous. All of this ridiculous politics is just trying to use you. It's going to use you. It's leveraging your sense of psychological discomfort over this or that. And rather than encouraging you to be strong, be an individual, and find the life you want, it's encouraging you to become dependent and angry, and then they'll use your anger to try and do whatever they want. And by they, I mean some clever people, some clever people who are into organizing because they want to actually, well, on the one hand, they want to cause chaos and trouble, but they'll make a living off it. So I say, look, walk away. Walk away from this whole transgender thing. Walk away from the whole queer thing. Yeah. If you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're bisexual, if you're transgender, look, we don't need this shit. This is straight crap. This is absolutely straight crap. Intellectual straight crap. It's not doing us any help. It's not doing us any good. And it's not doing anybody any good. It's there to cause trouble. It's there to cause trouble, and it is causing trouble. And already you can see that because of the bullshit that's gone down over transgender rights, so-called, public opinion is turning against gay people, lesbians, bisexuals, and actual proper transsexuals. Yeah. Don't let it happen. Walk away from this stuff. Speak out about it if you can. But don't let this bullshit dominate our lives. It's absolute rubbish.